Hello everyone, it is officially the 10th week of school and the last week of the first grading period. Let's get started with learning in our fourth grade class. Welcome if you're new to my channel. My name is Mariely Sanchez and I'm a fourth grade teacher in South Florida. Today is October 25th, 2021. I'm coming to you way at the end of the day and I'm not really gonna have time to share with you everything we did today other than show you the agenda because I gotta dash out of here. But these are the different things that we worked on today in our classroom. And we basically completed a lot of these except for writing. We didn't get to finish gathering the evidence or writing our introduction paragraph. And in math, we didn't have time to do the solving division problems, but everything else we pretty much did. Oh, and we didn't get to these two things because we were working on this and then it was time for a small group. But this morning during Patterns of Power, I'll show you tomorrow what is the sentence that we worked on. These are all the things that the students were able to notice in that sentence. And I am just so proud of everything they were able to notice. I do want to share more about today along with what we finished with our theme organizer, but I actually haven't been able to leave the school because there's an ongoing police investigation right near our school and traffic has been backed up for hours. So much so that I had an online PD to attend from 5 to 8. Yes, it is 8 o'clock right now. And I had to stay here in my classroom. So another teacher is gonna walk me to my car, but tomorrow I'll show you more. And also I got observed today by my assistant principal and the observation went well. So I'm very happy about that. I received really great feedback. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for more of our learning this week. But for now, it's time for me to pack my things and get going. Hello, my friends. It is now Tuesday and it is another very long day. I got caught up again at school because of traffic. So part 2 of the PD that I was doing was tonight from 5 to 8 and right now is 8 p.m. So I am wrapping up, but I am not as rushed for time as yesterday. So I just want to quickly just highlight yesterday as well as today. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from yesterday. So the only true highlight that I have from yesterday is to show you the patterns of power sentence that we have for this week, along with the annotated reading sheet that the students were working on finishing yesterday for our anchor text, Ranita the Frog Princess. That's actually the lesson that I got observed in by my administrator. So I wanted to show you the patterns of power slide first. All right, so here is my slides. They're just pretty simple. So this week, this was our sentence. I'm Emily Elizabeth and I have a dog. This is from Clifford the Big Red Dog by Norman Bridwell. So I asked the students what they noticed and I had already shown you what are the different things that they noticed, which was amazing. So our focus phrase for this week is that I capitalize the pronoun I no matter where it is. So then we moved on to different things in our slides. So let me just skip to today since I already have you here so that you can see how our patterns of power shifted today. So today we actually started with this do now, which I'll show you in a minute. I put this Newsela article under desk about a meteorite and I had the students read it, complete annotations, and then answer the 4 questions that follow. But this is our patterns of power for today. So today is the invitation to compare and contrast. So here is our original sentence along with another sentence. And I'll show you on the board how the students compare these 2 sentences, which was amazing. So the second sentence, of course, is I am 6 years old and I have 2 sisters. So I am really happy with how the students compared it. Let me just go ahead and show that to you now. So here is the double bubble that the students created today, comparing these 2 sentences. So the mentor sentence along with the new sentence. So you can see in the middle, all the things that the students found were the same. And on the side, the things that were different, which again, I am very proud for their observations and finding the similarities and differences between the 2 sentences. So this is the graphic organizer that we were working on yesterday. We actually started this last week, but yesterday the students were working on completing the theme graphic organizer on the back. So as we reread the story for the third time, the students wrote a clue for each section of the story, and then they came up with a theme, and they also explained how one of the main characters, Vieja Sabia, how her actions helped them determine the theme of the play. And then once they did that, they could then answer this sticky right here, which was the question, what is the theme and what evidence supports the theme? So yeah, students worked on finishing this yesterday. And now let's go ahead and move on to the agenda for today, Tuesday, and some of the highlights from today. So we started with that Newsela article, which I'll show you in a minute, followed by Patterns of Power. We read the paired selection, Pecos Bill and the Bear Lake Monster, which I'll also show you what I put together for that. And the students learned about hyperboles and worked on their annotated reading. We will continue working on this tomorrow so that we can identify the theme and compare it to the anchor text. And we did our small group centers today, working with our little readers and reading another type of play. So then we had bonus reading followed by writing, which the only thing we were able to do with our time was gather the evidence. So I'm just shifting those two things for tomorrow. And in math, the solving division word problems I wanted to leave for tomorrow. So we went ahead and did divide by tens, hundreds, and thousands, and the students worked with that. And I'm also moving distributed property as well. And then we had lunch, recess, music, and we ended the day with renewable resources. So here is the Newsela article. With Newsela, you can actually click print and it'll come up as a PDF. So the students read the article and then they went ahead and completed some annotations. And this is something that I literally created and thought of as I walked into the building. I'm like, oh, I visualize different boxes like sticky notes, and they'll have different codes so that they represent the different kinds of annotations. So I asked the students to write something they found surprising, something they loved or like, questions they have, something they can visualize, connections that they made, and where they learned something new. And after they finished doing the annotations, they could just answer the questions which are provided by Newsela as well. So 4 questions that are related to the article. So the students really haven't finished this, so they'll finish that tomorrow as part of their do now. And then we moved into Patterns of Power, which I already showed you, and learning about hyperboles. I actually found a video on vocabulary that went over hyperboles that was just perfect. And of course, the passage that we're reading today is a tall tale, which goes hand in hand with hyperbole. So I created another annotated sheet for that. And here it is. So basically, I kept it pretty simple, and I try to incorporate Spade as well as some other elements of stories that we needed to go over. So we started by surveying the text and having the students write down on a sticky any text features they noticed and put it here. Then they made their predictions. Then they needed to write the main characters in the story, and as they read the story, they needed to write down 3 annotations. Something they found interesting, a question they have, and something they loved. They needed to describe the setting, when and where, and then they needed to tell me the theme of the story, which we will do tomorrow because we ran out of time. And we will also work on this as well, looking at what trait Ranita and Pecos Bill share and how the authors use the events to show these traits, and of course, any hyperboles that they noticed and how the author used them. So that is what we did. And then tomorrow, what we're also going to do is on the back, I'm going to have them do a double bubble where they compare this text, the pair text, to the anchor text. So that will be for tomorrow. I forgot to mention that I also created some slides to make sure that they remember the Spade strategy as we read the paired read. And I also included a slide that went over hyperbole and why authors may use it, as well as reviewing theme, since that is something that we're going to do. But again, we didn't get to these 2 slides, so those will be for tomorrow. And then in science, of course, we're going over our renewable resources, since yesterday they were introduced to natural resources. So we read this passage from Discovery Science, and we went ahead and annotated the text as well. And then after we read it on the back, I had the students quickly just do an A-E-I-O-U so that they can write an adjective that describes something that they learned and why, an emotion about how something they learned made them feel and why, something they found interesting, something that surprised them, and questions that they may still have. So that was our little highlight from science for today. And that's all I have for you for today. I didn't film yesterday, but yesterday during our math lesson, I had the students write with their dry erase markers on the board as they modeled equal groups while they were doing division problems. And they absolutely loved it. I've done it with classes in the past, and they also get so shocked and surprised that they can actually write on their desk. So that is something they did yesterday. And as a matter of fact, today when they were working on their math problems, they asked if they can also write on their desk with their dry erase markers. And of course, I let them do that. So tomorrow is another day, so I will see you then. Hello everyone, it is now Wednesday, and I'm gonna keep this kind of short because I'm not feeling so good. I have been having like this headache behind my right eye for most of the day, like around here and my eye in general. And I've already taken Advil earlier today, that kind of helped it. But after that 4 hours went by, it came back. So I recently took it, and I just feel that pain plus an overall like exhaustion. My doctor's trying to rule out whether I'm having migraines now, which I was diagnosed with it when I was 15. So I've been experiencing headaches, but haven't been really treated for migraines. Anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead into our agenda for today and show you a few highlights from our day of learning. I haven't checked off anything, but I promise that we did a lot of stuff. So we went over this morning the Newsela article. The students had time to finish it from yesterday. We went over our patterns of power for today. We didn't get to vocabulary practice, so that'll be for tomorrow. We reread Pecos Bill and the Bear Lake Monster, and we were able to review and finish the annotated reading sheet, identify the theme, and compare and contrast it to the anchor text. We ran out of time for small groups, so I told the kids tomorrow we'll have a whole day of small groups for reading at least. In a bonus reading, we went over S-blends, we had recess. Writing, we actually ended up extending our recess today, so we didn't have time for that, which we'll make time for tomorrow. In math, we went over both division word problems and dividing with the distributive property. And at the end of the day, we finished with science with non-renewable resources. So in patterns of power, I'll show you the slide in a minute. Today was an invitation to imitate. So I showed the students our mentor sentence again, along with the sentence they saw yesterday for compare and contrast. And then I wrote these two sentences on the board. I am Marieli and I have 3 cats. Or I'm Miss Sanchez and I teach 4th grade. So I had a couple students help me write some more. And we ran out of time. If not, I would have given them an index card so that they can write their own like I did last week. But let's go ahead and take a look at the slide. So these were our slides for today. Again, the do now where the students reread the Newsela article and answered the questions and finished the annotations. I decided to put this slide here because our Pledge of Allegiance poster is a little bit off to the side, and when we have morning announcements, it's hard for the students to see it. So I added the slide so they can see the Pledge of Allegiance. And here is our patterns of power for today. So it looks pretty similar to yesterday's, except now let's write a sentence. So again, we went over that and reviewed our focus phrase, which I always capitalize the pronoun I no matter where it is. So then we reread Pecos Bill and the Bear Lake Monster. We reviewed the annotated reading questions, identified the theme, and compared it to Ranita the Frog Princess. And here is that annotated completed sheet that I went through step by step. So the students were identifying text features, making predictions, using these annotations here for different parts of the story, identifying the main characters, the setting, and as well as the theme, comparing it to the main character in our previous text, and identifying hyperboles and why the author uses them. We went ahead and took it to Jamboard to compare the anchor text, which is Ranita the Frog Princess, and Pecos Bill and the Bear Lake Monsters. So these are all the similarities that the students found within both. And these are the differences so that we can identify those and see how both stories have similarities and differences. And I'm sorry, it's a little blurry. I think that cleared up. For math, we were working with this Engage New York lesson and showing the students how to draw arrays to help them solve division problems. So we did a couple of them together, and then the students did a couple of them on their own. I also showed them another way to model their division problem, and we went over these as well as the distributive property strategy. And then for science, of course, we went over non-renewable resources. So we watched a video from our textbook online And we use our district PowerPoint to review renewable and non-renewable resources. Let me give you a peek of how that looks. So this is a PowerPoint that our district provides for us, and then we looked at how Florida has many natural resources and what those are, and we went over some renewable resources and Florida's renewable resources that we have in our state and why they're important. And then, of course, we also went over non-renewable resources and Florida's non-renewable resources and how each of them are used. So we went over phosphate and where we find phosphate, limestone, silicon, and we reviewed the value of renewable resources again. The rest of the presentation will finish next week, but that's basically where we ended today's lessons. I'm also wearing this shirt, English Teachers Save Lives. Let's eat grandma. Let's eat grandma. So putting a comma there makes all the difference. And because of this shirt, I shared this book with the students because in every page it shows how the meaning of the sentence changes if you remove the comma. So here, slow, children crossing. Or without the comma is slow children crossing. It's hilarious and they get to see the different situations and how the situations change just because we decided to, oh, here's another one, to remove the comma. So here, every day Anthony turns, slides, and swings. Or every day Anthony turns, slides, and swings. Here's another one. Go get him, doctors. Or go get him, doctors. So it's a really great book to show the importance of commas and how they really do make a difference. Along with this book, I also have some other ones by the same author. So 20 Odd Dots, Why Every Punctuation Mark Counts, and The Girls Like Spaghetti, Why You Can't Manage Without Apostrophes. So I highly recommend these books because they're hilarious and a fun way to show kids the importance of punctuation. That, along with our patterns of powers that I've been doing with Jeff Anderson's book, is helping the students understand why grammar is important and how it adds different effect and meaning as we use it. So that is all I have for you for today. I'm very tired and exhausted. I will see you tomorrow. Hello, everyone. We have made it to Thursday. It is the end of the day, and today was such a hard day for me. And it all started with me leaving the house at 7 a.m. or around 7, thinking, hey, I'm gonna get to school at 7:30. That's great. I can catch up on so much. But then there was a big police activity close off the road as I was approaching school. And I thought, okay, so let me just take a detour and go down another way. No, because that was such a big detour, all of the major traffic got diverted to other places that I would usually go. So in trying to get to school, it took me forever. I was stuck in traffic for about an hour. And when I finally decided to go another place so that I can kind of avoid the bulk of the traffic, I'm driving down, I have the right of way, and this car does a weird turn from the opposite direction, like almost like a U-turn, and it doesn't see me. I honk my horn. I wait for them to I push my brakes. They're still going. I kind of went off the side to the grass part of the edge of the road, and the person still hit me. So yes, I started my day with a minor accident. We're all okay. They're okay. I have the most damage, but it's not so much. The other person took liability, so their insurance will cover my car. That is the least of it. At least we're safe. But that put me in such immense stress. I was having anxiety. My hands were shaking. I was crying. It was not good. I called my principal. I let her know what happened. And she just told me to just relax, take my time, and come. So I got to school, and I just have to say it was so hard to focus. And just starting the day with such a traumatic event was difficult, to say the least. So I kind of switched my plans around. And instead of doing some of the other things that I had planned to do, I ended up reading a couple of different stories to the kids that were fun. So I'll show you some of the stories that I read to them. And we talked about the different stories and what we learned from them and how great they were. And then we ended up going over patterns of power today because today was our day to edit. And let me just show you the agenda. I kind of switched some things around and some things didn't get done because of the nature of the day. And today is the last day of the grading period. Grades are due tomorrow. The students don't come tomorrow. So it was a weird day, but we made it through and the kids had a lot of fun. So As you can see, we started off the day with reading, and we had Spanish was canceled, so we just continued reading stories. And then for writing, I decided to do a monster tale, so I'll show you what I did. It was kind of last minute. And then we went ahead and went to the computer lab instead of doing this because we needed some computer lab time anyway. And they had lunch, and then we had recess where they got their ice cream party for spelling out our school name for perfect attendance. And the students went to art, and then for social studies, we ended up just having a special treat, which was actually this. A parent sent 2 boxes of nothing but cakes, and it was sealed, so it was good. And look how cute these were. So some were chocolate chip, and the other ones were vanilla. So these are upside down witches boots, and then little hats. So these are the ones that are left over because the parent told me that they were for me and the students. So I asked them to share with my family. So thank you so much, my dear parent, for sending this for all the students. So as the students were eating their treats, we were just watching some videos, and that was the end of the day. And I'm glad I did it that way because, like I said, it was a very hard start to the day. It's been a really crazy week. It's almost been like a week out of the Twilight Zone, if I want to kind of summarize it for you. Because, I mean, we had Monday with the backed up traffic because of another police activity, and then that lasted till Tuesday, and I was stuck here Monday and Tuesday till past 8 p.m., and yesterday we had a faculty meeting, and then I had to be in the committee for Teacher of the Year and Rookie Teacher of the Year so we can select our nominees. And then from there, I went to Costco, and then some of the things that weren't at Costco, I had to go to Target. But one of the things that happened to me last night, which I have to share with you, is as I was leaving Target, I hear my name, Miss Sanchez, and when I look around, it's one of my past students. And it was so nice. She's in 10th grade right now, y'all. I was her 4th grade teacher, and it was so nice to see her and hug her and just catch up on her, and the sweet words that her mother told me how much I meant to her to have been her 4th grade teacher, and during such a time that she had, because she was going through something difficult that year in 4th grade, and I was a teacher the mom said that she needed at that moment. And it just filled me with so much joy. As I walked away to my car, I was just crying happy tears from that. So at least we need to look at the little highlights, right? The positives, the glimmers, like my friend Jessica says from Miss Romeo on Instagram. Hello, Miss Romeo. So I'll tag her down below so you can check her out. So we got to look for the little glimmers, right, in our days and our lives. So even though this morning started out super hectic and my day didn't go as planned, I'm okay. The kids are okay. They had a lot of fun today. And again, today's the day before Halloween, so I am dressed in my Ravenclaw robes. It is really nothing new. I usually use these anyway every year. So I have my shoes, and I'm wearing black pants and a white shirt. And I did not wear the scarf the whole day, I promise you, because it's kind of warm. But it was fun. And the kids really enjoyed it, seeing me in costume and stuff. So anyway, let me show you the little monster tale and some of the books that I read to the students today. So I've had this sheet from expressivemonkey.com for years, but I didn't do the dice activity. I just had the students use it as kind of an inspiration for them to draw their own monster and then write a story about their monster. So this is my monster. His name is Setch, and I will be writing more about his story, but this is the little thing that I was thinking about him. He's a delightful little monster with big dreams. His biggest dream is to bring people together and help them discover their spark. The only problem is that he doesn't truly believe he can do it. He doesn't believe he has the skills or ability. And one can say that he actually doesn't believe in his own spark. So that's my little monster that I came up with. And the students are working on theirs. And they're not done, so next week they'll continue to do that during Do Now. So let me show you some of the 2 actual hardcover books that I read to my students this morning, and then I'll show you some of the ebooks that I read through my Kindle app. First of all, I read to the students Piggy Pie, which is one of my favorites because I get to really act out the parts, and it's so much fun. The way that I do Gritch the Witch's voice is so good because I really get into character and I have a lot of fun. So basically, Gritch the Witch was really hungry and she wanted to make something delicious. So she's trying to think, and she's decided on Piggy Pie. Yes, Piggy Pie. I can taste those plump, juicy piggies right now. Gritch said, smacking her lips. So anyway, I will get into character. This is a really great story, and it has a really interesting surprise ending. So the students really loved it, and then they wanted to know if there was more. So there's a little sort of sequel, Broommates, that talks about Gritch and her sister coming to visit. So cute story. And again, the students really love when I get into character and I read the stories. The other stories that we read and talked about were Creepy Carrots by Aaron Reynolds and Creepy Pair of Underwear, of course, because they're both hilarious and you just have to read them. And I just found out that he's writing a third book, Creepy Crayon, but it doesn't come out until August of next year. The other story that I read to the students through Kendall was Gustavo the Shy Ghost, and it was such a beautiful, beautiful story. I highly recommend it. So again, those were the highlights from today. Like I said, in math, we went to the computer lab, and then we ended up postponing social studies for next week. So that's actually not the end of this vlog. Tomorrow is a professional development day, so I'll give you some highlights of my math professional learning that I'm going to. It is through Zoom, so it's a virtual PD. So I'll be here in my classroom probably filing and organizing as I learn some new strategies for teaching math and implementing IXL the way that our district plans to. Anyway, I'm super tired and I need to rest. So I will see you tomorrow. Hey friends, it is now Friday and I'm actually rushing out of here. I've had a PD the entire day. I try to multitask by finishing grades, by finishing my DPGT, which is my deliberate practice growth target that we do every year, just a target that we want to grow as professionals and then take professional development and see how we do at the end of the year is part of our summative evaluation. But anyway, I'm rushing because I just made the announcement that I have to leave because they're closing the building. But I did want to check in with you, let you know it was a really good math PD. I'll probably summarize some of my takeaways next week. And I was just finishing planning for next week. I'm pretty much done. Just have to do one more day of science, but I'm just gonna do that from home or just Monday morning when I come in early. So yeah, I might just do that. What a whirlwind. But I'm sorry it was kind of short today, but I just wanted to wrap up this week. It's been one interesting week, but I hope you enjoy coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I am wearing my grading things shirt. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile.
Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.